Bum ba dum ba dum bum bum ba bum ba dum ba dum bum ba. She's got a plan and a glint in her eye in the land of Sims where diapers fly, clicking cribs and bassinets, flirty chats and zero regrets. A cupcake mood, she's feeling bold. Another baby, a story told from newborn cries to toddler mess. Crafty conquers all the stress. Whoa, it's Crafty on a roll. Baby 20, she's still in control. Bottle in one hand, romance in the other. Every sim dad, just another baby's father. She's rocking that mom life, making it thrive. The 100 baby challenge and Crafty's alive. Got a toddler painting on the floor. A teen's on fire again, of course. Homework, dishes, tantrum rage. Crafty's queen of the baby stage. From Mortimer to Don Lothario, no sim escapes their love scenario. But love is quick, then back to build. A nursery stack, the house is filled. Whoa, it's Crafty on a sprue. Baby 47 just learned to pee. Skills are grinding, moods are swinging. The lullaby of chaos is always singing. She's the sim mom, queen of the drive. The 100 baby challenge and Crafty's alive. Da-dum-da-dum-da-da. Paint a picture, clean that stain. Make a move in the pouring rain. Legacy builds and sleepless nights. She's got toddler dreams and midnight fights. No cheats here, she plays it raw. Okay, maybe a few, but who's keeping score? She's the legend, the myth, the pixel queen. Wrecking woohoo like a machine. Oh, give it up for Crafty now. She's got babies crawling all around. From bassinets to birthday cakes. She's breaking sims with every step she takes. She's chaos, care, and joy combined. The 100 baby challenge redefining the grind. Da-dum-da-dum-da. So if you're feeling brave, come take a peek at the sim mama queen, raising chaos each week. Crafty's world is full and the love runs deep, but don't blink. Baby 88's about to leap. Crafty baby boom bash playing on loop.
Welcome back to another episode of 100 Babies. This is a part 2 of making our next home. Here I am found out a different way of doing the roof, where if you hit Control C, you get additional dots to do more of a curve, so I can do more of a round roof. Unfortunately, my original stream video didn't have audio, so I'm doing a voiceover. But here I'm just playing with the roof, resetting up these little roof attachments that I wasn't sure if I liked or not, but I think I did. I made the roof a little more rounder, so it gave us more of a ranch farm, what was it, the barn, more of a farm barn feel like I wanted it. So yeah, I was just playing around with the new new abilities of I guess making it rounder. So yeah, that was just me playing with the roof. So I think at this point I was trying to just make the roofs a little more cohesive, matching up, so it looked like they were blended together, and then adding some detail on top. I found these like roof overheads, but for some reason it kept going too high, so I had to use a shift 0 to bring it down, because for some reason they would just go too high. And since these were more of a darker color, I ended up changing our other sign or top roof topper to match. Here I couldn't seem to align them right, so I had to like replace them and then bring them down. I don't know what was going on there. So then from a distance, I was just trying to check how it looked and how I was feeling. Then I realized that I felt like something was missing, so I wanted to put some plants or some greenery around the porch. So I decided to start off with the hedging, and I like the ones with the flowers. I think this is one of the ones I got from a previous event that The Sims had, and this one had flowers in it, so I chose the white and blue ones. But then I had to place so many to kind of overlap, and I just decided to go all the way around the edging of our porch. And of course, you can't forget the little section in the back. So then here I was comparing one side to the other and decided to keep going. So I moved our mailbox a little forward and just continued adding more of the hedges. I kind of sometimes wish we had these hedges that were like longer than just like the tall square ones. It would make it easier to do long or large areas. And then I decided to do the rest. I just decided to continue doing the rest of the porch area all the way to the back. And then our family pumpkins from previous generations, I just moved them forward, and I had to move the tree a little bit out of the way so I can do the back end of the porch and move the tree just back to where it was and finish that off. And I think from a distance it looks a little better. So then I decided I needed to do something around the treehouse and the play area for the kids. So I thought, why not add some wildflowers? And then I felt like I needed some grass as well, because usually after you kind of build a treehouse or have a play area, even though you keep your yard kind of neat, you still kind of have spots where there's some grassy areas because you don't really reach that area. So I thought this kit kind of gave the treehouse and the play area a little dimension. So I just put grass and flowers, wildflowers around, kind of fit it around, kind of in the areas where you're not really going or walking around. Because most of the time the kids are just going to climb up to the treehouse and play on top. And then right below the play area, you get a little extra, grass, because, sometimes you can't fit a mower underneath there. So, but I kind of like the look of it. I think it gave it a little more detail, a little more greenery. And then after that, I decided that I needed, you're going to have some grass and some flowers behind the garden area because no one goes back there. And it kind of leads into the pond area. So I just added more wildflowers and grass back there. Yeah, and then at this point I decided that I feel like I needed some more greenery around the garden area, and so I decided to go with the same trellis or bushes that I did with the house. I did them a size down so they were not like fully covering the window, and they fit nicely, so I did it on both sides. I think at that point I was trying to explain what I kind of wanted to do in that empty space. I had a whatchamacallit, a tent for the kids that I might bring over from the old house. At this point, I went back into the house and decided that I needed to start decorating. So I went to start off with what I felt was the easiest, and that was the infants and toddlers room. So at this point, I think I'm trying to figure out what kind of paint and flooring I wanted to have in the home, what kind of feel. I think I wasn't quite sure the design or the style I was going for. So I still wanted to keep it kind of country, kind of ranch, kind of, farmhouse looking, but not too modern. So I think at this point I was just choosing a fridge and stove that matched that I really liked, and then kind of went and picked out cabinets that went with it. Um, so this was me starting off trying to figure out the kitchen and the layout of the kitchen and adding a little light island to it. I really liked the light blue color with the white, so I decided to go with that. And then I was just trying to rearrange where I wanted to add stuff. And then I wasn't sure if I wanted the edge cabinet to stick out a little bit, so I needed to go and look for a the I can't even remember what it's called, but the food display case where I keep the food for the toddlers and kids, so it's easy access for them. There we go. I wanted to see about changing it up and doing a different one. So I think I was just trying to figure out which one I wanted. So I just pulled out the different ones, and I found one that kind of matched that had the light blue. So I think I went with that one. I think the stove wasn't quite centered under the window, so I decided to put the stove more on the island area, so then I can do sinks under the window, and then I wanted to do upper cabinets as well. Kind of felt that the cabinets were a little too high, and since I brought the cabinets down, the window that I had wasn't going to work. So I took the window out because then I was going to replace them with something else. And then I decided to do a full-on cabinet space next to the food display because I thought that would be a good place to like store their dishes, and kind of it looked pretty good together when I put it down. And then at this point decided to do two small windows where the bigger window was, and then just do a sink area there. And I couldn't figure out the style of sink I wanted, or if I wanted two, so I just went with one and then just added a dish rag because I wanted to put the sink in the middle, but it wasn't working. I think at this point I was just looking for some decor and glitter to go in the kitchen. I first checked out the packs and kits that kind of were feeling the style I was going for, but it didn't have a whole lot, and it didn't have what I was looking for. So I just went through and picked out what I liked, and then started looking at all the other packs. Here I'm just rearranging, moving stuff to like fit where I want it versus just locking in where it normally goes. And of course, we needed a trash can. And I went ahead and was trying to do a little hack that I learned a long time ago about adding the money trash can into a cabinet, and it makes it look like it's a cutting board. And then if you are able to have debug, you will be able to find a knife to sit on top of it, and it just basically looks like it's a cutting board on your counter, and it still is functional and still works. You can still put trash in it. I think at this point I was trying to look for the knife for the debug stuff, but it wasn't coming up, and so then I was trying to decide what kind of clutter I wanted to go around it, and then just started picking out stuff I wanted in the kitchen. Unfortunately, as much as I play Sims, I don't remember where everything is located, so sometimes I have to scroll. I feel like if I do more building, I need to get the mod that extends out and has more rows, but I don't think you can do it with build by mode. And I really like build by mode, so I may just deal with just having the 2 rows and scrolling. Yep, I just got knife cutter, some seasoning racks, a mixer, and then I was trying to figure out if the small dishwasher would be okay, but I ended up going with a bigger one. And then I was looking for the ice cream and candy maker for the kiddos. Instead of, I don't like having coffee pots. It drives me nuts. Here I was trying to figure out what kind of curtains I wanted in the kitchen, and the style and the color, and it wasn't kind of fitting what I wanted. So I just kept trying little different ones. And then I had to move the cabinets out of the way so I can maybe see where I was placing them. But I moved the wrong cabinet first. I gotta move the top ones. There we go. Yeah, so then I was able to like move the, yeah. So I couldn't place the curtains how I wanted it, so I moved the window up so then I can place where I wanted the curtains, and it actually looked much better. So so at this point I was just giving a glance and of the kitchen and was like, okay, well, what else do I need? I added a fire alarm, and then of course, since I was there, I added the security alarm at the front door. And then now I'm just trying to choose different lightings that I wanted in the kitchen and living room area. Oh, and I finally found what I was looking for. I was looking for in the country home feel, like you have the hanging pots and pans over the stove. So some of them were really long, and I didn't have a tall ceiling. I didn't really think I wanted to. Excuse me, sorry. I'll go to the second floor and just add another space to make it tall ceilings. So, oh, and at this point, I found the knife I was looking for in debug. So, as you can see, I added it, and it just makes it look like it's a cutting board. And then I just grabbed a pepper and put it on there. Here I was debating if I wanted a single stove pot just sitting somewhere, but I felt like it took room away from the kitchen area, because I think now with the new, like the adventure packs with the children having new things they could do as kids, I want to be able to do more cooking with the kids, kind of just to make it feel like, mom's teaching them to cook more, and be independent as they grow up. So I think that's fun, and they can bond with their kids. Here, I was trying to find the board where you can do notes and stuff like that, but I couldn't find it. But then realized I have one at the other house, so when they move, I might just delete, or when I go in there to finish um, the home, I'll just delete it and then bring the board with us when we moved. I put some floor mats down in the kitchen, and here I am trying to figure out what kind of dining table I would like. So I was just picking out different ones and getting the feel for it and see which ones I like. I kind of went with this one that seemed to fit the style, and added two together. That way, cause I would have seating for at least 6 to 8. Because usually I have always a household of between 8 and 12. So need to have enough seating, especially with some of the kids doing their homework. So we got some chairs to go with it. At first I didn't like the chairs at the end, so I took them off, and I was like, if I always need more chairs, we can go add it back later. And then at this point, I did what I did in my previous house, and I did a little seating area for toddlers. So when they come out, they can grab their food and sit down. So I went with the blue little bears, which I think were really cute. They were similar to the ones I had at the other house, but the other house I had them black and white. So I was like, well, since I'm going with the blue bear, oh, and then I found the tint I was talking about. So I decided to put one out. But yeah, that's funny where you're looking for one thing and then you find something else you were thinking about. So here I'm trying to find a small table for the toddlers and then rearranging the seats. So they're kind of in the middle of the hallway, but not like blocking. Because usually the toddler's bedroom is going to be right there, to the right of those seats, or to the left, I mean. And then they'll come out of their room, get some food, and then sit down. And then I was just picking out a rug I liked and then setting them up in the living room, in the toddler area, and then I think also under the kitchen table. So I really like these gray to blue ones. So I was just trying to, unfortunately, it didn't, because it wasn't long enough for the table. I had to get two to overlap, and I was okay with that. And then here I was picking out the TVs. I saw the projector, and then I picked out the one that we have at the other house, but I'm like, we don't really need a huge TV in this area. Um, most of my Sims don't sit down and watch TV unless it gets to the point where they need fun quickly or play video games kind of thing. And then now I'm just trying to figure out what kind of curtains I want in like the living room. And then this is going to be our mom's room. So I was just going through the curtains, see what kind of style, what kind of color I wanted to go with. I know her room was more, what is it? More modern and more black and white. So I kind of wanted to do something a little different. And now I am looking at curtains for the infant room. So the corner room is going to be the baby room. So I was trying to figure out what kind of paint I was going to go for. And I chose a really like floral country blue vibe for the main kitchen and living room area, and then started picking out some things for the infant and baby room. I also decided to keep that kind of in a like a blue color palette, not necessarily, for boy and girl kind of situation, but more of like I like to, I'm a themed or colored set person, and so if I don't have anything themed and I just do color, then everything kind of goes similar. So since the house was gonna have like a blue vibe kind of situation, I just decided to go with that. So for the baby room, I went with the curtains that had like an outside sky feel to go with the sky rug I put in there, and then two little blue bassinets. And then the only other thing I really needed for infants or for babies, um, actually, I didn't really need anything else for just the babies, but for the infants, all I needed was a tub and a uh, diaper changing area. So that's what went into the middle. And then I found this little cute ranch house toy while I was looking. So I was like, oh, that dollhouse needs to go into our toddler room. Um, so I was trying to figure out which kind of floor mat I wanted to have for our infants. I don't like the cribs very much. I'm okay using the cribs if I'm doing like a legacy gameplay, one child or whatever. But for 100 baby, it's just really easier to have the floor mats because if the baby wakes up and mom can't be there right away, they can do their other milestone situations on the floor mat, and I don't have to like try to get someone to get them out of a crib. So, but yeah, I'm just trying to find a little bit of decor and just make the rooms look comfortable. I got um, two floor mats for our infants, and then just a little corner side table. And then I was trying to figure out if I wanted different kinds of um, curtains, but then decided to go with similar ones for the babies, and then just did two together. So they're looks like they're on the window, and then they're open. Both you open them both to each side. And now I'm just trying to pick out what kind of tub I wanted in there. And then after I chose the tub, I picked out a little mirror to have in the bathroom. Um, didn't really have to have a mirror, but I thought it would just be another nice decor. So I like the round circle one with the blue lighting. And then now I was just trying to decide what kind of paint I wanted in the room. So I went with a light blue with white trimming, and then I saw the one with the little clouds on it, which I thought would go perfect with the curtains, so I went with that. Now I decided to move to the foyer. So this area is pretty much where um, everybody comes in and out of the house. So I wanted a foyer, or I guess I'm choosing paint for the toddler room. Oh, now I'm in the foyer. I probably said this while I was streaming. I'm all over the place. Like even though I'm like doing one section, I'll find something that goes somewhere else, and then I'll get distracted and then go back. So here I remember that we had a kit, and I think it was, I can't remember the name of the kit right now, but it's called, I think it was like the wet room or something room. Let me hold on. But while I look up the name, so pretty much I was just using the furniture from that to do the foyer, which I kind of wanted a feel of the foyer of like just space and storage and a seating area for the kids to come in and out to, like, you know, take off their shoes and drop off their backpacks and, you know, have a feel, you know, basically a feel for having, you know, a lot of kids. So that is pretty much what I'm doing here. On one side I did one of the seatings and started adding some decor to it, some clutter. On the other side I did cabinet kind of feels, like a coat one and some shelves to put stuff in. I was gonna do kind of cabinets on the top, but it kind of felt like it was too much kind of situation, so I took them off for just a minute, And then I was looking for backpacks and the shoe racks and just some decor. And I think looking. So I started like trying to pull out like different kind of shoes and just things that you would feel like you had in a entryway foyer kind of situation. Um, okay, so the pack I was originally using, it was called the Grange Mudroom Kit, and so a lot of the furniture was that I used in the foyer was from that pack. Or it's a kit, I'm sorry. The Grange Mudroom Kit is what I used. Um, and then I finally found the shoe rack that I was looking for. So I pulled a set out and then put some shoes in front of it, and then the little no shoe sign in the house. And then for those cute little shoes from the mudroom, I thought I would just put different ones underneath the little cubbies from the seating, so it looked like the kids took off their shoes and then just stuck them right underneath. So, guess I started looking at stuff to decorate the foyer, but then found that bookshelf that I liked to go under the TV. Here I'm just picking out some backpacks and decor to fill it in so it looked like there's a bunch of kids. I found these shelves because I was looking for shelves here, and I thought they would go great with the garden, so I put it out there. And then I started choosing different lighting. I found a baby bag, and we found keys and phone decor. And at first I was like, oh, a little sack lunch to sit here, but then I was like, oh, a bag of groceries. And then I was like, no, that belongs in the kitchen. So yeah, it's just making it look like, kids coming in, dropping off their bags and shoes, in, a little baby bag, kid's bag, diaper bag, there we go, that mom can grab on the way out with the kiddos. So, and then I was just adding some like towels and blankets and little clutter on the shelves. I at one point, I know in the previous house I had a gym, so at this one it wasn't gonna have one. So but I still wanted to have a little feel of workout. So we have, because I think I set up a yoga mat for mom, and then the kiddos will have outside, and the teens will probably most likely just do either like a work out on the TV or go for a jog or something like that. But then they'll be working on the farm when we get chickens and probably a cow and the gardening. So, but here I was just going through and trying to find. I thought there was more backpacks and bags versus the storage ones, but I couldn't figure them out. So I just picked different kinds, different kids, different styles, and just put a few down, put some books in there. Yeah. So I think on the wall, I didn't put a lot of wall decoration in there because I think I'm gonna do kids' pictures and um, birth certificates, probably some in the foyer and some in the living room. So I ended up moving over to our toddler room. I put in 2 toddler beds. I debated about a third one, but most of the time we just have sets of twins, except for that one set of triplets we recently had. So I think my idea here was I'll just have the 2 for the twins and put a little side table in the middle, and if for some reason we need a third one, we can just move the table out and put in a third bed. I found the rocking chair I wanted mom for in the baby room because she still needs to finish her knitting aspiration. I think we still need to do 4 or 5 legendary knitting, whatever. So yeah, and then I just started putting stuff down for the toddlers. We had the dollhouse that looked like a little farmhouse. I really like this oak looking toy box, so I put that in there. I put 2 sets of building blocks for their thinking, and I put a little shelf of books outside the hallway for them. And then with the event, I got this really cute slide that I liked, so I put it right outside the toddler's room, which I think they should be okay to walk out around through the foyer to go outside and slide in it. And then I wasn't sure if I really wanted another diaper changing table, but then I was like, it was she needed to change their diapers. I didn't want her to walk all the way to the other side where the infant room is. So I thought it was cool to find a diaper changing table that is on the wall that folds down. So I put that just in case to see if it would work out. If it doesn't, we'll get rid of it. And then now here I'm trying to pick out some curtains for the toddlers that kind of goes with the room paint and feel. I wasn't totally sure about. I like the colors that were on the curtains, but I wasn't sure if I liked the dog bones. But I'm like, oh, I'll go back to that. And then for the kids' room, I decided to go full on SpongeBob since I had the kit. So I was like, why not? They're kids. We like SpongeBob. I like SpongeBob. So I wanted to see what furniture came with it and how I can use it to make a kid's bedroom. So I like that it came with a matching creativity or crafting or drawing desk. Um, Here, I guess I was trying to figure out. I really like the jellyfish lights, so I went with that. And I kind of also kept the SpongeBob feel, furniture feel, with the blue color as well. At one point, I wasn't sure which bed I wanted, so I ended up going with the other one with the life preserver on it. It was really cute. And then I wasn't sure I wanted a desk in here because I felt like I didn't have a lot of room, even though it seemed like a big room, but I felt like it didn't have a lot of room to fit anything. Because most of the time the kids can do homework at the kitchen table, but I really like the desk. So I was like, well, let me at least just put one in there. And then trying to figure out the chest toys. I really like Sandy, so I was like, I need to put Sandy in there. Even though it was a SpongeBob room, I didn't know if I really wanted a decal of SpongeBob on the wall. And I like the dresser. And I really wanted the blue to match everything else. But the blue that matched the carpet and things had SpongeBob and Patrick on it. Which then I was like, it's fine. We'll just leave it. And then, of course, I got Patrick and SpongeBob as well. So I went to go check what kind of paint we got, and I really liked the underwater feel, so I chose that one. But of course I had to check all of them out, see which ones I wanted. They only gave you a sand flooring, and I was like, no, I'll just keep the wood floor I have. And I really thought the Goofy Goober guitar was really cute, so I thought I would just put it in there. And of course we had to have Mr. Krabs' first dollar on the wall and the Kong, so I put that on the desk. And then for decor, I was like, well, probably most likely the kids will be drawing, so we'll put some of their drawings up. And we just had to put a couple lamps in. So I faced one lamp towards the drawing desk and then the other lamp towards the desk. And then didn't really come with curtains that I noticed, so which was kind of a shame. But I was really excited about doing the SpongeBob room, so I was pretty proud of myself. Once again, we could probably get rid of the dresser and add a third bed, or we can rearrange the room and put the 3 beds on the side where the 3 windows are, and then the furniture on the other side if we needed to add another bed. I think here I was also trying to consider, I really wanted bunk beds, so I was debating if I needed to get a bunk bed that kind of didn't necessarily match. They had the white ones, but the bedding didn't really match unless I did the blue one. So that gave me another idea of like I could do bunk beds if I needed another bed in there. But for right now, we're just going to leave it as just the 2 beds. At this point, I moved over across the hall to the shared bathroom. So this is mostly going to be, I wanted a bathtub for the toddlers for another area to give them a bath. And then of course, we needed separate toilets. So we didn't have too many kids being embarrassed with each other. I think I was looking for the sliding bathroom doors that I couldn't find for a minute. I kept finding the back doors, but not the bathroom sliding door. But then I found them. So. And then I went with a light blue paint with tiling at the edging. And then I just went ahead and added what I needed. Found blue toilets, so I decided to go with those. And then instead of having 3 toilets, I decided to have the third room be just a straight up shower. So then I can have a tub in the next one that way. Because at first I was thinking of having a, shower tub combo. But then I was like, well, I don't want a kid having to take a shower or bath while I needed to give a toddler a bath. So I went ahead and did 2 so we can have a separation, or 2 kids can either one take a shower and one take a bath at the same time. And then I went ahead and grabbed the tubs and put them in all the rest of the bathrooms so they're matching, because usually when you build a home, all your tubs are usually matching. Unless it's a master bath, then you might get something different. And here I'm just trying to add some decor, like the toilet paper, and added towels, and trying to figure out what kind of rug I wanted in there. I wasn't totally sure if I really wanted to go with the bathroom toilet rug that they gave us, because it doesn't have a lot of different colors. So I just started looking around at something else, and I really like these colorful little rugs that came, because they look like it's like cotton candy, but it's like watercolor kind of thing. So I thought that gave the bathroom like a touch of color. And then I went ahead and used the similar cabinets as the kitchen, and I also did them blue because I just really liked them. And then I was debating if I wanted to do upper cabinets, but I did not like the feel of them because they, of course, all had dishes and stuff. So, and I wanted them to look like a bathroom cabinet, not a kitchen cabinet. So I was just trying to play around to see what would look good in there, but I felt like that tall cabinet was too bulky. So instead, I think I went to storage and they had, I was just trying to test out different things and to see what felt right in there, but it just, uh, it just felt too bulky and not enough space. So then I went to, I think, Life and Death, and they had this bathroom storage thing that was like kind of small, but I feel like it didn't really fit the place. So instead, I just went back and got this small cabinet at the edging, and that made it feel much better. So there's still cabinet space in the bathroom, but it's not like all of it, and they were too close to the doors. I did one sink on each side, and then added the same mirrors as I did in the toddler, no, the baby and infant bathroom. And then I went ahead and added some shelving on the wall to for storage and all that jazz. And then now I'm just adding some bathroom clutter, some toothbrush, toothpaste, some soap for the kiddos. Gotta wash those hands after you go to the bathroom. Got some shower caddies in the shower and bathtub area, which I like. I think they give some good decor because a lot of us have those. And then decided to add the same rugs in the right under the sink. So then after that, I went over and completed the same flooring all over the house just to make sure everything matched. And then I was just trying to debate what I was going to do next. So I decided to go into the spare, this is going to be the spare room area where either we're going to invite one of our children to kind of stay with us as a roommate situation, not necessarily in addition to the household, but like a roommate, but still have another adult in the house that can help me with the children as needed. It's either going to be that or we're going to hire a butler. It's one or the other. I think I will start off with having a child, one of our previous children, come in and stay with us. And then that will be their room. Because in that case, I can still have them help around even though I'm not controlling them. So I went ahead and just added similar decor, and then I realized I forgot the potties. But I added the similar decor. I created a walk-in wet room, so it has a shower and tub, and then so after adding the stuff in the bathroom, I went ahead and went into the bedroom area, and I kind of kept it a little basic. I just did a bed, kind of similar to the one I have in the spare room in the other house, kind of like I just brought stuff over. So I did the bed and a couple nightstands. I think I put in a desk. I did the same rug as the living room one because I really liked it. And then I put a rug into the bathroom as well. And then at this point, I think I was getting really drained from decorating. So I thought I would just finish off this room and then I would have to go back in the next time and finish it off. So I got the 2 side tables. I picked out some curtains. Picked out a painting to go above the bed. I wasn't sure what I wanted or the feel, but it kind of went with the color scheme. So I chose that one. And then, oh, I forgot to finish painting the bathroom. So I had to fix that up. I needed to put a mirror in there. The window was kind of like threw me off, but I wasn't sure if I really wanted like 2 more sinks or whatever. I may go back next time and change it. They don't really need double sinks, so the 2 mirrors on the side seemed okay. I put a dresser in there and I put a little desk. I'll probably bring the laptop computer that I have at the home here, and then I moved kind of the furniture over, even though it's like off center from the wall, but it kind of felt better to move it over and then add the dresser on the side. So that kind of made it feel a little better. And then I remembered I needed to add a nightlight into the kids' room for the monsters under the bed. So at this point, it was towards the end of my stream, and I was pretty much done with the whole decorating, and I ended up just giving a little tour of what I had done so far. So this is the outside of my home. I really liked the way the roof came out with more rounder than I wanted. And so then we went in, and so that's like the start of the foyer. Kids' pictures and baby birth certificates will go on the bare walls. We got our kitchen. I still need to finish the living room. I need to finish mom's main room. She's gonna get a section of the porch that's kind of private to her. So I need to figure out what kind of furniture I want out there. And then kind of if I wanted to do anything else outside, I'm not totally sure. I also need to complete and decorate the second floor of the teen room. I think here I was talking about that I do pictures. So in the previous home, I had an office and I had a backdrop set up. So here I take from, I think, modern, there's a modern kit or whatever. There is a floor pose thing that you can put on the ground and have someone pose, and then someone else can take a picture. So I thought that maybe since we're going to be in the country, I would do pictures outside near the pond. So I set that up for now, but I can move it on later if I needed to. But for the most part, I think this is doing pretty good. I forgot to paint the inside of the garden area, so I think I came out to kind of find what I wanted, and I just realized that there was a glass paint for the for the garden area, so I was like, I went ahead and just did a regular, just plain white color. I added the open door barn doors, which I thought were really cute and I liked, but now I might go back and change it depending on if we're going to move forward and put a cow plant in there, and then potentially the baby daddies will go in there and find their fate here. So I was gonna find some seating for the outside for mom, but decided that next time, next Sunday, we will continue and finish the house. So we just need to finish the living room, the mom's room, and the teens room on the second floor. and then we will be ready to kind of move in and continue our quest to the next 49 babies to 200 and possibly continue after that. I kind of was, trying to figure out what kind of feel I wanted for the living room. But yeah, this was pretty much the end for me. And thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube and watching it. I would appreciate it if you enjoy some of my content to hit the subscribe button. Would really love to get to 500 by the end of the year. I know we're only halfway through January, but I am a little over 100. So I think 500 for the end of the year is pretty good goal. But otherwise, if you guys missed an episode or want to see any other of the 100 Baby episodes, they're all saved under the 100 Baby folder. Otherwise, you can catch me on Twitch on Sundays, either 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern, and I stream live the 100 Babies. So this coming Sunday, we will probably continue with finishing this house, and then maybe going back and finishing off, moving out some of the kids before we move into this house and get started. If you have any Sims you want me to use in my save for potential donors, just comment down below. Let me know your gallery ID and who the data is that you want me to add, and I will add them and see if they pop up and be one of our daddies. Otherwise, if you have any names, suggestions for me, please put them below. Eventually, I would like to kind of start a spin wheel with names and with either YouTube comments or Twitch chatters that I can use versus me just trying to go off of the baby daddy and trying to come up with names. Considering I'm at 151, it's kind of hard sometimes to do names, think of names, and make sure I'm not duplicating them. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate everybody for stopping by my YouTube channel and watching my content. And yeah, I will see you guys next Sunday. And I hope everybody has a great day. Bye.